right, welcome to Adam on the Air this week. We welcome Eddie Simons in, and we're going to talk a little bit about baseball and Major League Baseball season coming up. And opening day is kind of a holiday in its own. And I found a quote. Joe DiMaggio, of course, MLB great, had a quote that said, "You always get a special kick on opening day, no matter how many you go through. You look forward to it like a birthday party when you're a kid. You think something wonderful is going to happen." And that's kind of where we're at as baseball fans. And Eddie, you're a Cardinal fan, I'm a Royal fan, and we both think that something wonderful might happen this year.
Oh yeah, well,
we're hoping.
It's going to be wonderful. They're going to starting to play in April and plan on going the whole season. So
right, well, yeah, just getting to play this year.
Right.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
I've been told that there's going to be some fans in the stadium. I think the Cardinals are going to allow 32% of their capacity to start out with.
And that's new. That's just like today.
Right.
You know.
That's
and I think Kansas City's doing something like that, pretty similar, I think. I read an article the other day from GM from Dayton Moore announced something like that for Kansas City. So, opening day coming up, and Eddie and I are going to talk a little bit. Obviously, a Cardinal fan, we're going to talk Cardinals. Royals fan, I'm going to talk Royals. Kind of the setting for today is we're going to kind of look at projected lineups for both teams, and we're going to kind of, we won't argue about it, but we'll kind of come to an agreement on who we think is the best at each position and kind of come up with our all-Missouri team, right? So, again, St. Louis opens up April 1st. Kansas City opens up April 1st. MLB opening day is April 1st. I think the first game is Atlanta-Philadelphia that afternoon. Royals open up against Texas. St. Louis opens up on the road at Cincy.
Right.
So, and I think their home opener is the 8th, like a week later. So,
and for the people that's listening to us that are Cardinal fans, they know that opening day in St. Louis is a major event.
Well, it is in Kansas City too.
I know it is, but I know it is. I'm not saying they're any better than anybody else, but when I say it's just they bring a lot of the Hall of Famers back because they're going to be minus some this year due to.
That's what the Cardinals fans say. They think it's a national holiday in St. Louis only.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So what? Another quote. We'll look at one from another MLB great and Hall of Famer Bob Feller. He said, "Every day is a new opportunity. You can build on yesterday's success or put its failures behind and start over again. That's the way life is, with a new game every day, and that's the way baseball is." So. Royals fan, 14, 15 World Series appearances. I don't know. You guys haven't been there for a while, right?
I got that written down, Adam. 2006.
So it was easier for me this time.
2006.
Yeah, but I did go on the 30-year hiatus, so I'll give you that one. But either way, we're looking here at Royals, Cardinals, both looking at Cardinals after 10 years, Royals after 5, both trying to build on yesterday's success and put their failures behind and starting over. So we're going to take a look here at some of the lineups, and the Royals, I'll touch base on them real quick. I know the Royals finished 72-90 last year, 4th place in the AL Central. Not where we all saw them, but they were in same division as Minnesota, Chicago, Cleveland, that all had 80-plus wins. I don't know where the Cardinals ended up. I think I've got it on your sheet there, but I'm not sure where they were.
Last year?
Yeah, last year.
Like I said, we didn't play a full season, but they were in the playoffs. However, they decided the playoffs last year. It's
79 and 83.
Just what you printed off?
Yeah, that's what I got.
That's what it is.
So anyway, we're going to look here at some positions, and we'll try to keep track of these and kind of X them off and check mark them or whatever. But let's start first. We'll jive right in and jump in at first base. And I'll go first. And of course, the Royals bring in a new first baseman this year. Brought him over from Cleveland, I think. And I'm going to be a little bit off probably here. But Carlos Santana comes over from, was it Cleveland? Where he was. So comes over within the division. He hit 22 home runs though, 77 RBIs, batted .240 last year. You'd like to see the average a little bit higher. I don't know. I mean, he may provide some pop there. I'm going to guess a 3-hole guy, What's the Cardinals look like at first base? I think I know.
Well, Paul, yeah. A few years ago, they traded for Paul Goldschmidt, so they're pretty, he's definitely been there, going to be there for the next 3 or 4 years probably.
And an all-star.
And an all-star from Arizona. You know, he's last year he hit in a shortened season, batted .304. I do not.
So a little higher average.
They do not have the home runs here on this screen I'm looking at, but he's a Gold Glove first baseman. He's won
yeah, and I don't know if Santana can say that.
Multiple Gold Gloves, and anytime you have a first baseman, and like the Royals did have with Hosmer,
right,
it makes your infielders look better when they're throwing the ball in the dirt.
Yeah, when you've got a Gold Glove first baseman.
And so defensively, it's a big weapon for anybody that can get a fielder like that.
And he hits better average. I'm going to give you that one. I'm going to guess he probably had 20 homers, so I'm going to guess the first base nod probably goes to Goldschmidt. So
you know, like I said, I'm going to pull up some
I'm not going to put up a big fight over that one because I think Goldschmidt's probably the better.
Goldschmidt's a 3 or 4 time All-Star.
Right.
So,
and I'm not going to take that from him, so I'm going to concede first base. So, second base, Royals, you know, they use a little bit of a platoon there, but what they're looking at right here in their projected everyday lineup is Nicky Lopez, and pretty minimal offensively, decent defensively, young guy. They kind of hurried through after those World Series years, and only 5 home runs, 41 RBIs, but he hit .250. I mean, a lot of times there's not too many superb second baseman in the league, so I can't put him there. What do the Cardinals look like at second?
They just traded away to Gold Glove second baseman.
In the division.
But so obviously their coaches must know more than us, than somebody like me, but I'm sure they do. So this year we're looking at a guy by the name of Tommy Edmond, who has been with the Cardinals for a couple of years now. So far he's been a platoon player for them in different positions, outfield and infield, and has shown a lot of ability.
He's going to get his chance this year, it looks like.
You know, it's different to being probably at the regular position versus being a guy that you can use as shortstop, you could use at third, you could use in the outfield,
right,
or second, and those guys are valuable too. But this is early in the year, so they still have Matt Carpenter, who's lost his job at third baseman, and we'll discuss that later. But if Matt Carpenter can come back to half of what he used to be, he'll probably end up taking that job over. But we'll see. Like I say, this is early.
So I don't know. It doesn't sound like either of us really want to fight for that second base spot.
I'm not going to say too much right now. So
we'll call that one a draw probably. Looking at shortstop, I'm going to fight for my guy because I like him. I like his style. I like his play. He's a fast guy. Covers a lot of ground. He's a guy willing to throw himself on the ground to make the play. Makes the tough ones. Some of the tough ones he makes look easy. Offensively, it's a little bit of surprise pop for a shortstop last year with 17 homers, 67 RBIs. But the thing I like about him, I like speed, and he had 52 stolen bases last year, and that's Alberto Mondesi. And
yeah,
I like him. I think he's a future all-star for the Royals, and I think he's one of those young guys that the Royals play around or build around.
Yeah, Cardinals second baseman is a completely different player. He was an all-star in shortstop. Excuse me, we're going short. He was an all-star in 2019. Obviously, last year there wasn't. I believe they even had an all-star.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how they
even picked it, but he's a solid shortstop defensively. In 2019, he hit 30 home runs. 18, he hit 19 home runs. In 2017, he hit 25. So
offensively,
they don't steal as many bases. I think he had 9 stolen bases last year. Defensively, I would say they're, I have to look at their defensively stats, but there's 2 different kinds of shortstops.
Yeah, and I didn't print.
And I like Mondesi's ability to steal bases.
But tell me who your guy is. I don't even remember.
DeJong.
DeJong. Okay.
Spelled D-E-J-O-N.
DeJong, just something.
DeJong.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, you people out there that's following both teams, I don't think. Yeah,
there's a couple of these we're going to probably be stumped on, and we'll probably share this. We'll get Tyler to share it on our Facebook, and if you've got a suggestion and you want to give the nod to one or the other,
I'm not going to argue.
Jump in.
Right. I think we could come back later in the season and do this again.
We could, yeah, have our own little all-star break.
In a way, both players have abilities that are different, but both of them get the job done where they're at. One may have a little bit more power than the other one, but the other one's got more speed.
Right.
And one may have more range than the other one, or one may, I can't, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you that one.
I'll take it.
You know?
I'll take that one.
You better get what you can get.
So yeah, because I'm probably not going to get the next one. I mean, moving over to the hot corner to third base. As much as I love the guy, just signed a new 4-year extension for the Royals. I like the type of player he is. I think he's going to be a good one. Hometown guy. You know, he came out and said, you know, he re-signed his contract extension because this is where he wanted to be. He wants to play baseball in Kansas City. And Hunter Dozier, 21 homers, 69 RBIs, about a 248 last year. I love the guy, but I know I have to give this one to you.
Well, and first of all, I'll speak about Hunter Dozier. He is a good player, and he can also play first base.
Sure.
Didn't he play first base last year? So he shows he can be moved around. Unexpectedly, there's always been a rumor about the Cardinals are going to try to get Arenado from Colorado, but I never thought it would happen because of the amount of money and the players it would take. But it did happen, and
he's going to like Bush.
The Cardinals had to give up one major league player that was a bullpen arm, and he was good. 7th and 8th inning guy, and 4 minor leaguers that weren't even in their top 10. So. It's obviously Colorado was looking to do a salary dump.
Right. And the Cardinals took that on with Nelson Arenado, and
right.
Any baseball fan knows what kind of player he is.
Right. He's got, you know, eight Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's okay.
I did a little research on him. There's only been 2 other third basemen in the history of baseball that's had 8 Gold Gloves, and it's Mike Smith and Brooks Robinson. So.
Not even my guy. Not even Brett.
You know, we don't get to vote on Gold Gloves.
Well, I guess not.
They need to let us vote.
Yeah, George Brett should have had 8.
In a way, yeah, he's going to be a big addition to the Cardinals with, I think he's going to be their number 3 hitter. He's hit 235 home runs in those 8 years, I believe, and he's going to bring a protection for Goldschmidt, and
so he's averaging 30 a year.
Yeah,
30 plus a year.
Yeah, 30 plus years. So
yeah, so yeah. Like I said, I knew I couldn't get that one, but that's why I had to throw Dozier a bone. I like the guy. I like the player.
Dozier.
I like the way that he signed his contract, and he wanted to be here, and I like those players.
And
so
I believe, I think I'm right. I saw the age of Dozier at 29. So he's a battler. He stuck with it.
Yep, and he's been the Royals organization the whole time.
And he finally. Matt Carpenter for the Cardinals was about the same way. He didn't make it until he was 28. You know, he battled in the minors a long time. So you got to show a little
persistence.
Yeah, those guys, you know, didn't quit. They just kept on, and
right.
So I think we're 2-2 right now.
Yeah, because I'm giving you Arenado. I mean, I can't. No way. I can't. You
can't give me first and third, and then
I will. Yeah, first and third, and I'll take the middle.
There you go.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'll take the middle. I'm going to take that one, and then we'll go to the outfield. I guess we could do these kind of as a outfield. I guess we don't have to break it down center field, or you want to do it that way?
Well, I want to start.
We can do it that way. Go for it.
Because the Cardinals have a completely different outfield.
All 3 new guys? Entirely new outfield?
They're all probably played no longer than 2 years. Young outfield. Completely. That's why, you know, I don't know what's going to happen in the future about anybody else that might come aboard. Dylan Culverson was their number 1 prospect in the minors. I know a lot of people that don't follow the Cardinals. If you follow the Cardinals, you've heard of him.
Hey, he's the one that I had to ask you about. I didn't even know who the guy was.
He should be the real deal, but there's been a lot of people that should be the real deal. He looks the real deal.
There's a lot of those.
He looks the real deal, and he's got a lot of ability.
Is he corner or in the middle?
He's a corner outfielder.
Corner.
He can actually play all of them, but they're going to use him in left or right. I think they're going to be using him more in right field, but we'll wait to be seen. But then you go to the center fielder, is Bader, who has a lot of ability. He's fast. small guy, but fast and can cover a lot of territory.
And people around here may know him because he and of course a lot of Cardinals did, but I mean, I think he was a pretty big player for the Springfield Cardinals.
Right, he was.
So
yeah, that's true.
I think that's where a lot of people might recognize his name.
His issue has been a little inconsistent at the plate. So, you know, you can't score if you don't get on base. Or,
right.
You know, he's got this will be a big year for him. I know what I've been reading, I've been working with him to cut his swing down, try what most players should do but don't do, is try to hit the ball the other way.
Right.
And take a walk when you can get it, because if you got the speed that he's got, you're batting leadoff, you need to get on base. But and the last one is O'Neill, Tyler O'Neill.
Tyler O'Neill.
He has a lot of ability too. He's got the same problem as a lot of players have got. He wants to see how far he can hit the ball. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
And that's what we can give our opinion here.
Right. I mean, if the guy was sitting here in front of me, I probably wouldn't say that. But he's got, you know, so we'll just have to see how it shakes out. Then the other outfielders they have, Lane Thomas, who played in Springfield. He's showed a lot of ability in Springfield or in the minors.
In the minors.
And but they're all young outfielders.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So the Royals will counter that with some more experienced outfielders, I guess. And I think you started in right field, so I'll start there too, or where you predict them maybe to be. And I'll start in right field too then. And I'm going to go to a guy that can play a little bit in the middle infield too, but probably see most of his time in right, and that's Whit Merrifield. And for him, I'm going to argue this one if we're going to go there to right field, because I like Whit Merrifield. Again, an all-star, probably the cohesive piece that's kind of held the Royals together since 14 and 15, really. But Whit Merrifield, a perennial all-star, I'm going to probably keep him in right field just so that maybe to try to prolong his career a little bit would be my guess. But he was 16 homers last year, 68 RBIs, and batted .285. He's as close to a 300 hitter as the Royals have. So then center field, here's a new guy, and I had to ask you about this guy because I didn't know him. He came over from the National League. But Michael Taylor. And I don't see any offensive numbers really to speak of, and 10 home runs, 35 RBIs for Washington last year, I believe is where he came over from, and only batted .227. But you told me he's kind of a speed guy. He came over from Washington. That's kind of what he did there. So
yeah. I think he's going to get to play more in Kansas City than he played Washington.
And sometimes that's what it takes is an opportunity or a change of scenery. And along those lines, the Royals kind of made, for a small market club in Kansas City, kind of made a splash when they traded for Andrew Benintendi from Boston. Here, I guess we're going on 2-3 weeks ago. And Benintendi was a top prospect. Grew up small town Indiana, I believe. Went to college in Arkansas, so the SEC's familiar with him. But went to Boston and played behind a pretty experienced outfield there when they had Bradley was there, and they had some Mookie Betts was out there. And but anyway, those guys got traded away. Benintendi stepped in, had a couple good years there. I think 17-18, I think, or 18-19, and then last year he was kind of down and only had 14 home runs and 63 RBIs. But he's a base stealer, fast guy, pretty decent defensively, I think, with an arm. So, but he's replaced I don't know how many, 7-time Gold Glove winner in Alex Gordon in left field. We all know that Alex Gordon is a Kansas City favorite and retired this offseason, but Benintendi is going to fill some big shoes there, I think. And then the other one that I'll throw in there, probably going to play a lot of DH. Probably see very sparing time in the outfield is Jorge Solaire. And of course, a couple years ago led the American League in home runs, I think. And he was the American League champion, and then 33 home runs, 91 RBIs last year. So a big producer, big bat in the middle lineup, and I'm going to guess he bats cleanup for him. So in the outfield, I don't know. I mean, I like Whit. Taylor, I don't know anything about him. I'm going to guess that one goes to you. Our left fielders may be a toss-up, so it looks like it might almost be even again.
Yeah, I'll have to see what I believe last year Taylor got to be more of a third and fourth outfielder, especially with guys like Soto coming on. Right. I can't remember where he actually plays at. I think he might have played center some, but he's a good athlete. And yeah, Witt's the best of probably the most consistent of all the ones we just talked about.
I think you're right. And of course the Royals just yesterday re-signed a guy for the 14-15 World Series years, and that was Gerard Dyson. They brought him back. They're hoping he's got a little gas left in the tank, maybe, or maybe can bring some of these young guys around.
Someone else that used to play for the Royals that all he did was steal bases.
Terrence Gord.
Yeah, he got signed by somebody.
Atlanta.
To a minor league
went to the Braves. I saw that one too.
His stats, he's got more stolen bases than he has.
At bats, probably.
But whatever, if you can get paid for being fast,
he's getting a check.
There you go.
So I'm not sure. I think that about ties us up.
Yeah.
So
we're going to have a conversation on the next one.
Which one? Oh gosh, you're right. I left one out.
Yeah, I left the big one out.
Yeah.
The future Hall of Famer.
It's big for me too.
And I yeah, it is. And I know how much the Royals catcher respects and looks up to the Cardinals catcher.
Oh yeah.
Because I've read about it, and because all these guys.
I think they talk. You see them even on Twitter, tweeting back and forth sometimes.
Yeah. But
so a big respect between the two at least.
Molina's coming back for I don't know how many years he keep going, but he's still a very.
He's had to have been in the league for 16, 17 years probably. He's got to be.
Oh, for a catcher. I don't know how many years he's been in the league. I think he's in the league early, like 2004.
That's probably. I'd say you're probably right.
2004 is when he first came up, somewhere there. Because he's been in 2 World Series with him in 6 and and 11. Excuse me, but I go 2011 was the last time. Yeah. So Yachty's got 9 Gold Gloves. So his lifetime batting average is 281, and he's got over 2,000 hits, which I understand. Looking at other catchers in the league, except people like Johnny Bench, to get 2,000 hits as an everyday catcher is a pretty big deal.
It's got to be top 10 at least.
Yeah, and the Royals catcher, if he can play as many years as Yachty's played, he'll probably do the same thing.
He's probably going to be on pace for that. Yeah, if again, a bigger body.
2 big, different body styles.
Yeah, yeah. But of course, the Royals catcher we're talking about is Salvador Perez, and he's a fan favorite in Kansas City. Sure. Super good, super personable guy. But so is Yachty, and I'm not here to take anything away from Molina. Not a Cardinal fan, obviously, not a Molina fan, but when you're a baseball fan, you got to tip the hat to the right guy. So I'll give that one to Yachty as much as my son will hate me for it. But I'm going to give for the years of service. Yeah, for the years of service, we're going to give that one to Yachty. So we can touch on a couple of the pitchers and maybe the pitching staff, but we'll take a break here real quick, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Pam Grove, owner and broker of Advantage Real Estate. Our goal is to make you feel at home while you're looking for your home. Our team of professional agents are rooted in the community and proud to call Warsaw home. If you're looking for property, we invite you to stop by and see us. Our goal is to make you glad that you did.
All right, welcome back to Adam on the Air, talking baseball here with Eddie Simons, and we just broke down the Royals and Cardinals projected lineups on offense, but we're gonna turn here now and look at some pitchers and the starting rotations. I gotta flip pages here for me, but and I can't talk pitchers as much. I just can't. I just know that they throw good, they throw strikes, or they're off that week. But Royals, I'm gonna look, and I can talk about maybe 1 or 2 of these guys, but Danny Duffy for the Royals. Royals only had 1 guy that had double-digit wins last year, so that's the reason I can't talk a whole lot pitching. But that was Brad Keller, and he's just an innings eater. He was their opening day starter last year. And then go to the number 2, probably Danny Duffy. Bring a guy back. I think he went to Texas maybe, and then came back this year, and that's Mike Minor. Chris Bubich is a young guy drafted in the same league as drafted in the same year as the next guy, and that's Brady Singer. He was a 1st-round pick. Bubich was a 2nd-round pick. So the Royals' top 2 picks went to pitchers that year, and maybe both went to Florida. I think maybe they took both of them off that Florida roster. And then Jake Junis is going to be that 6th guy. So I can't go very far here.
Well, listen to sports talk show out of Kansas City yesterday. They basically were saying that the Kansas City's pitching staff is in the minors right now.
Right.
Most of them. Not running these other guys. Yeah, like Singer.
Sure.
And the other guy from Florida.
But some of these guys are going to get are getting long in teeth. Danny Duffy's not a young guy anymore.
They've got 3 or 4 pitchers that's probably a year away, or maybe might be up at some point this year.
Right. Yeah,
So
and that's what you don't know. And we're going over these names today, and we might be talking about somebody who doesn't even make an opening day roster.
Yeah.
So,
well, pitchers to me, but after they've been in the league long enough, you kind of know what you got.
Oh, yeah.
You know who they are. You know who Duffy is. You know who
we do. And you've got a couple like that on your
Greinke was when he was
on your rotation,
sure.
in your starting five, too.
No, that's true. Adam Rainwright's coming back again. I mean, he is what he is. He's
and they were lucky to get him back. I think he tested some free agent waters
right.
this year, I think. So.
Well, he's getting kind of long in the tooth. He's almost 40. Because pitchers last that long. Pitchers are pretty smart. They know how to, he doesn't throw hard. A lot of curveballs. He's always been known for his curveball. So obviously he's the veteran on the pitching staff for the Cardinals, but he's not their number one.
Right.
Number one is Jack Flaherty, who has a lot of ability. This will be a big year for him. I think we'll see what he really is going to be. I don't count too much in the last year.
Right.
The pitchers, for pitchers who only play that many games and they didn't get to lose that much spring training, and then I think it was probably tougher on.
Well, a lot of times we only saw starters go 5 innings.
Right.
And then it came down to the bullpen.
Right. I mean, I don't think anyone was wanting to blow out a young pitcher.
Right. No.
On a season like last year. So, other than that, they got a guy named Miles Michaelis, who they got from. I don't even remember where he came from a couple of years ago. He had one good year for the Cardinals, and he had a little injury problem last year, so we'll see. He's an innings eater. We'll see what he brings this year.
What's the next guy's name?
Next guy, it's been a surprise, but I've been surprised before by people that come over from Japan, but his last name's Kim.
What's his first name?
I'll let you pronounce it.
Kwang Hyun?
Kwang Hyun Kim. Left-hander, 6'2", because all these pitchers now, when you look at this, I get the heights here, they're just, most pitchers are 6'2" plus anymore.
Oh, they're long and tall.
He eats up a lot of innings. It looked good last year, but this year will be the test. Then the next one, who is an enigma to me, could have been more than what he has been. Got a lot of ability, can throw the ball, had a wicked curveball, and that's Carlos Martinez. But this is the big year for him. I would say his time in St. Louis could be coming to a close if he.
And again, I think if I remember, he's the guy that was best friends with Yordano Ventura, of course, the late Yordano Ventura that used to play for the Royals.
Right. And he's got a lot of ability, just because I know they're not listening to us talk, or I wouldn't be saying this. But maybe a little bit in between his ears.
Right.
The ability's there.
Sometimes that's your biggest enemy.
But you got to, yeah. So.
And especially nowadays when they bring up these pitchers, especially the young pitchers that come straight out of college, and next thing they know, they're in the starting rotation facing major league hitting.
And that's true. And I don't know how much we're going to touch on relief pitchers. I didn't bring too many of them.
Yeah, I didn't really prepare for that one either. I mostly wanted to look at the offensive side. But yeah, the Royals have some of those too, and a couple of them are familiar names. And that is Greg Holland came back over last year. He was a setup guy. And then Wade Davis they bring back after trading him to Chicago a couple years ago, then signed a free agent contract in Colorado. But now he gets out of Colorado as a pitcher. I think that's a nightmare for a pitcher. We've seen it happen to other guys like Mike Hampton and those kind of guys. But then coming back to Kansas City, he's hoping to probably retire a Royal. And then the fireballer from last year that I would assume is going to be the closer this year, I'm seeing Davis in the 8th, and I'm seeing a guy named Josh Stallman in the 9th, and he was the guy that came in and threw triple digits. He was the 100, 101, battled constantly in the upper 90s, and that's kind of where I see them. And there's some other guys in there, Zimmer that came up through the Royals, Jesse Hahn, Scott Barlow, some of those guys. Barlow actually, a guy from Kansas City, I think, went to one of the Lee Summit schools. But
well, a lot of your bullpen guys now throw triple digits. think someone blow their arms out. And the Cardinals are bringing a guy back that blew his arm out in 2019, and that's Hicks. His first name escapes me right now, but he's legitimate 100-mile-an-hour pitcher. Young, 24, 25, but bullpens change as the year goes by.
And again, we talked about some of these young guys may not be there, and there may be some surprise guy that shows up in spring training, and next thing you know, he makes the major league roster, and it's a guy that we haven't even mentioned today.
True.
So you know, so we're going to look at it, you know, depth-wise. I don't know what you mentioned a couple of years. The Royals, you know, do have a couple other guys that are back to your Rhino Hearns. Signed a guy from Baltimore, Hanser Alberto. Supposedly he's supposed to be a big addition this year. Mm-hmm. But my favorite one, bringing back Gerard Dyson. I like it. Give me Dyson. That's what speed do. So, you know, and I kind of see like maybe that's what his role's going to be with some of the Royals guys, with Mondesi and Benintendi and stuff like that. So, hey, we hope you enjoyed the show today. We're gonna kind of get out of here. I think we came up tied. You know, I think we're pretty even in the outfield.
Start the year.
Yeah, so we'll come back, like you said. We can come back. We can always say, okay, now this is what I got for now. You know, what have you done for me lately? That's kind of the world we live in. So anyway, couple in closing, I came across a couple cool quotes, and one of them was a guy named, we can't even remember who he is, and I don't know if he was in the Major League front office or what, but he says, baseball's opening day is full of time-honored traditions. The president throws out the first ball. You'll like this. The Cubs starting pitcher walks away with a 54.00 ERA. And I don't like this. It says the Royals are mathematically eliminated from the pennant race. I hope that's not right this year. But in complete closing here, a quote from my favorite player of all time, George Brett, said, "There's nothing like opening day. There's nothing like the start of a new season." So we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week.
This has been a BCE TV production. Thank you for watching.